However, the V10 engine did have its moments, and as you shall see in a moment, these engines made their way into some fairly amazing cars. Here is our ranking of the top 10 V10 powered vehicles. Introduction. V10 engines are currently a rare species, much like many of their internal combustion cousins, as automakers continue to investigate alternatives like hybrid and all-electric powertrains. 10-cylinder engines with a V configuration were never as common as other engine types. Even in their heyday, automobile makers would either go all out and install the monstrous V12 in their cars or go conservatively and use little simpler V8 engines. Number 9. Porsche Carrera GT. Today, the gorgeous Porsche Carrera GT is revered as a legend, and for good reason. This hypercar made its debut with a variety of groundbreaking technologies that made it stand out for the competition. It was the first automobile to have an engine, carrier, and monocoque made of carbon fiber reinforced plastic when it came to the usage of forged magnesium wheels. It also set the standard. Then there is the magnificent mid-mounted aluminum V10 engine that drives the car performance. It is a descendant of Porsche's abandoned LMP 2000 racing project, and it is compatible to the 3.5-liter F1 engine from the 1992 season. The 5.7-liter engine is also rather powerful, producing 435 lb-ft of torque at 5750 rpm and 605 horsepower at 8000 rpm. It produces one of the best sounding engine notes have heard in a production vehicle while delivering all that power. Number 8. Lexus LFA. In October 2005, the Lexus LFA was initially referenced in the media, a two-seater supercar powered by a high-output V10 engine. According to Lexus, would be displayed in a concept form at the Tokyo Motor Show that year. Look at the photos, though you will notice that it was a quite different animal back then. Nevertheless, the front mid-mounted V10 engine was kept even as the concept changed over the years, giving rise to a convertible model in 2008 and racing at the Nürburgring 24 Hours in 2008 and 2009. In fact, Lexus bragged to the world for 4 years that the V10 was unquestionably still in existence and that it was a 5.0-liter engine or just under. The production LFA was unveiled in October 2010, and sure enough, it included a V10. The 1LR-GUE 4.8-liter 72-degree engine had a maximum REV limit of 9000 rpm and a maximum power output of 560 PS, 412 kilowatts and 480 Nm lb-ft with a 6-speed single-clutch automatic transmission situated at the back. Power was sent to the back wheels. Unlike the concept car, which had an aluminum chassis, the production model featured a carbon fiber backbone, which reduced weight by 100 kg and increased structural strength. Number 7. Lamborghini Gallardo. One of the Lamborghini company's most popular models is the Gallardo. Over the course of a 10-year production period, over 14,000 units were sold from 2003 to 2013. In that success tale, Gallardo's engine was essential. The V10 produced 520 horsepower and 374 lb-ft of torque in its base configuration. With that much power, the sports car could reach a top speed of 196 miles per hour and reach 60 miles per hour in less than 4 seconds. Later versions have much more strength. The 2014 Gallardo LP560 model has now 552 horsepower and 398 lb-ft of torque thanks to the changes of the engine. Early Gallardos had all-wheel drive, a 6-speed manual transmission and 500 PS 368 kilowatts of power at 7500 rpm and 510 Nm 376 lb-ft of torque at 4500 rpm. They could reach 62 miles per hour in 4.2 seconds and a top speed of 192 miles per hour. Additionally, there was an additional 20 PS 14 kilowatts when the engine was rebuilt in 2006, providing even more horsepower. In addition to a very magnificent sound, the lineup was made much more richer than ever with the arrival of the Gallardo Spider. Number 6. Dodge RAM SRT-10. Pickups were primarily considered work vehicles in the 2000s, used only to transport little amounts of merchandise, but when it made its 2004 debut, the massive Dodge RAM SRT-10 did not exactly fit that mold. Among other changes, the truck's decreased ride height made it less useful as a road carrier. It did, however, have a reputation for being among the fastest production trucks in the world, which was sufficient to give it some major braking rights. The SRT-10 has a 4.8-second sprint time of 60 miles per hour. This insane performance was made possible with a V10 engine from a Dodge Viper that produces 500 horsepower and 525 lb-ft of torque. Number 5. Audi RS6 Avant. When it first appeared on the market, the 2008 Audi RS6 Avant caused quite a commotion. Here came a powerful super wagon with over 550 horsepower and enough weapons to catch the unwary sports car driver off guard on the highway. It scored the 5.0-liter. The V10 was a modified version of the engine found in the Audi S6. At 6,250 rpm, it produced a thunderous 580 horsepower, and at 1,500 rpm, it produced a 479 lb-ft of torque. The RS6 was able to go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in around 4.4 seconds because to this power and Audi's re-owned AWD Quattro technology that beats a Mustang sports car from the same era by more than a second. Number 4. Lamborghini Hurancan Evo. With its V10 engine, Lamborghini had discovered a winning formula, and the automaker stayed with it when creating the Gallardo's replacement. The Lamborghini Hurancan was a supercar that bore the name of Fighting Bull, and it lived up to expectations. The Hurancan Evo's 5.2-liter normally aspirated V10 engine produces 631 horsepower and up over the original model's 602 horsepower. Compared to the extreme performance model, the Hurancan Evo was intended to be more of a daily driver, although it can still accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in around 2.5 seconds. Number 3. BMW M5. For the BMW's M division, this sports sedan signaled the end of an era. A naturally aspirated engine was only used in the final M5 Super Salon, but what an engine it was. The car's engine was created at the same factory that BMW used to construct Formula One engines at the time, and it demonstrated a compatible level of technological development. At the time, the power plant contained the most potent ECU ever installed on a production vehicle. The powerful 500 horsepower and 383 lb-ft of torque were expected to be produced by the 5.0-liter V10. Having that amount of power, it was directly competitive with the cars like RS6 Avant and the Mercedes-Benz E55 AMG. Number 2. Dodge Viper ACR. Before it was eventually discontinued in 2017, the Dodge Viper had enthralled motorheads for more than 20 years. The 2016 Dodge Viper ACR was one of the most potent variations, but there was no way that this American sports vehicle would simply disappear into obscurity. With a plethora of aero improvements and a massive wing for maximum downforce as it attacked curves, this performance car was a beast on racing tracks. It did not let us down when it came to power either. A big 8.4-liter V10 crammed under the hood produced up to 645 irate horsepower at its maximum 6,200 rpm. The Viper engine has room to develop due to its simplicity. It's true that the engine was never particularly sophisticated, but variable wheel timing was added, and the capacity eventually increased to 8.3 then 8.4 liters. At the end of the SRT Viper's production in 2017, when Chrysler decided to market as an SRT model rather than a Dodge, the vicious V10 lump was producing 813 Nm, 600 lb-ft of torque, and 654 PS, 481 kilowatts of power. Even though it was a bit of a brutal instrument, we have a lot of affection for this engine and every Viper iteration. Number 1. Audi R8. The Audi R8 is nearing the end of its life, and you don't need to be clairvoyant to see that. As Audi repositions itself towards an EV future, the model line has been reduced for 2021 and will eventually be phased out. But no matter what happens, the Audi R8 will undoubtedly be remembered with great affection. This vehicle made its debut as a V8 model at the 2006 Paris Motor Show but quickly received a V10 power plant, which has been a part of the supercar ever since. The original V10 was powered by the same engine as its Gallardo sibling competition. For the 2008 model, it had 525 horsepower, but as time went on, different upgrades and changes increased that figure. The 2021 Audi R8's V10 engine can produce up to 602 horsepower, matching the output of the Lamborghini Hurancan RWD.